we will be discussing Epstein. This is what this segment of this live will be about. Jeffrey Epstein, and then we'll tap into some other things as well. But the main focus is to talk about the Jeffrey Epstein situation with Donald Trump. Although Donald Trump wants everybody to shut up talking about it, he wanted to just go away. This is killing his presidency, unaliving his presidency. So he does not want the American people any longer to talk about Jeffrey Epstein. But that is what my content is about. Yes, Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein broke back mountain times. From the birthday card, signature, and all. Jeffrey Epstein estate turned over the birthday book with all the birthday cards and everything. Donald Trump drew a picture of a woman's anatomy, and he wrote things inside of it about him and Jeffrey Epstein's secrets. Well, that's what we're talking about. This segment is about Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump. Hit that like button as you come in. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can send me super chats and super stickers. Also, you can get a membership. I have the Ruby's membership for $4.99, and I have the Diamonds membership. Screenshot that and send it to me, Alan. You can send it through Google because I have a Google Gmail. Gmail. Send it through Gmail. But that's what we're talking about. They've been threatening to unalive me for a long time. Thank you, baby. They always threatening to, MAGA threatening to unalive me all the time. They threaten to come to where I live and RAPED me. They threaten to jump the gate where I live and RAPE me. I'm used to MAGA and they threats. So we're going to start back with the great error pointers. Everything I show you is fair use, great for educational purpose, great research, and great entertainment. What are we doing? We're doing research. We have already finished the other part of the live, so we're going to cover the Jeffrey Epstein stuff now, okay?
We have some big news right now. Donald Trump is desperately trying to get the American public away from the Epstein conversation. He's now calling the birthday letter released by the House Oversight Committee a, quote, dead issue. Donald Trump is declining to talk about the Epstein letter that he purportedly wrote, even though he is denying to Jeffrey Epstein for his 50th birthday. It was a very lewd letter. It was released by House Oversight. There is currently major litigation between the Wall Street Journal and Donald Trump in the Southern District of Florida. But Donald Trump doesn't want the American public talking about this issue. He doesn't want to release all the files from the Department of Justice. He doesn't want to comment on the Epstein letter that was released. And that just raises more questions than answers, because if you look at the signature on the Epstein letter, it's almost identical to Donald Trump's signature. And not just that, who else would have forged Donald Trump's signature 22 years ago? This was not a document in the possession of the Department of Justice. President Biden's DOJ did not have this. It was in the Epstein estate, and now the public sees it. Spread the word. We need to keep asking the questions. All keep asking the questions, because the public needs to know the truth. Follow along for more. We have some big news right now. Donald Trump is dead.
Donald Trump wants us all to shut up. Do not talk about Epstein. I'm not going to be quiet. Although I get threats in my chat all the time, I would not be quiet talking about Epstein. So let's listen to a victim right quick. And this is from Occupy Democrats. And be sure to subscribe to Aaron Partners and Occupy Democrats. Oh, hold on. I can't play music. I'm just going to read y'all what the article says, okay? Okay, it's an Epstein survivor. She says, our RAPED 3 times a day. It was a conveyor belt of abuse. Trump told her abuser, good luck. And the U.S. government just rewarded her with a low security prison. They're talking about Ghislaine Maxwell. They're protecting the predators and burying the victims. That is a good analogy. They're protecting the predators and burying the victims. And this was one of Jeffrey Epstein's victims. And Donald Trump is helping to protect the abusers, because Ghislaine Maxwell said that to the attorney, what's his name? oh God, I forgot his name. When he Blanche, he went to talk to Jesselyn, and I have that. She said the Republican Party was involved with Jeffrey Epstein. So let me find that for you right quick, okay? Oh, I got it on mute. Hold on, babes.
Woman who's in prison, a 20-year sentence because of her crimes she committed with Jeffrey Epstein.
Hit the like button, please.
Hey, members of Donald Trump's cabinet were involved with this thing that I was part of. Were involved with Epstein. She said, plural, right? Some are in your cabinet. Some are in your cabinet who you value as your coworkers.
Thank you. Hit
Multiple
the like
members
button.
of the president's cabinet were involved with Jeffrey Epstein. And the response to her volunteering this in this interview is not, who? Which members of the cabinet? Say what now? The response is, long pause. Let's move on. Woman.
So to go back to what the victim just said, the victim stated, she's an Epstein survivor. And this is what she said. I was raped 3 times a day. It was like a conveyor belt of abuse. Trump told her abuser, meaning Ghislaine Maxwell, good luck. And the U.S. government just rewarded her with a low security prison. And that is in Texas. They moved her from a high-risk security prison in Florida to Texas to a low risk that's like a yoga campus. And all around where she is young girls attending universities there. They're not safe. All right.
DOJ says that names associated with Jeffrey Epstein who wired $100,000 and $250,000 should stay secret.
Just in the last hour, our colleague Tom Winter broke the news that the DOJ on Friday asked a federal judge overseeing the case of deceased sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein to deny a request from NBC News to unseal the names of 2 associates who received large payments from Epstein in 2018. Court documents show the Justice Department cited privacy concerns expressed by the 2 individuals as the reason for not making their names public. Now, the first associate received a payment of $100,000 from Epstein. The second associate received a payment of $250,000. Now, both of those payments happened in 2018, just days after the Miami Herald began publishing a series of stories where victims criticized the plea deal Epstein received in Florida in 2008. Now, as part of that plea agreement, Epstein secured a statement from federal prosecutors in Florida that the 2 people would not be prosecuted. Now, the payments became public after Epstein was indicted and arrested in New York in 2019. And just last month, NBC News sent a letter asking a federal judge to unseal the redacted names because Epstein's dead, the criminal proceedings have ended, and the DOJ said in a memo in July that there would be no additional charges filed against uncharged third parties. The judge has now given NBC News until September 12th to respond to the DOJ's request that the names remain secret. It's not known when the judge will make a final decision about NBC News' request.
So the DOJ is clearly working with Trump. They are doing everything they can
to protect Donald Trump
him and the most powerful among us. This is why, to me, this is not about a Democrat or Republican issue. This is about whether the most powerful people in the world also face accountability for disgusting, violent, criminal actions. That's, to me, what it's about. Because we all know that if a very poor working class person were found to be doing stuff like this, they would face the most severe penalties under the law, as they should. It needs to happen to the most powerful people in the world, too. The DOJ says that...
Be sure to subscribe to Keith Edwards. Who was the person in the Oval Office in 2019 when this happened with Jeffrey Epstein, when he was taken down? Who? Donald Trump was in the Oval Office. Who was in the Oval Office when Jeffrey Epstein was supposedly unalive? Jeffrey Epstein. Who? Tell me, MAGA. Donald J. Trump was in the Oval Office. Who's in the Oval Office right now? Denying the birthday note that he wrote to Jeffrey Epstein. Donald Trump and his entire MAGA Republicans, honey. Yes, they are. They're denying the signatures, but I got some more signatures to show you, baby. Yes, I do. Okay? So let's get to the good foot. Let's look at these signatures, because, Donnie, you're not good at lying, baby. You're horrible at it. You're not even good in bed, apparently, because your wife is not living there with you. And it has nothing to do with age, because black men that age, they still pumping, baby. Strong. Big eggplant. So let's take a look at these signatures.
It's not my signature, and it's not the way I speak. And anybody that's covered me for a long time, no, that's not my language. It's nonsense. And frankly, you're wasting your time. All you do is trying to go.
We wasting our time, apparently, y'all. He want us to shut up. Look at the signatures. Those are different signatures that he signed.
Has anywhere near the success that we've had.
Donnie, that's your signature. They just show other signatures from Donnie Boy. For example, he wrote a letter to Hillary Clinton. He wrote a letter to Lillie and Jane Book. He wrote a letter to George Conway. He wrote a letter to Stephen Devereaux. He wrote a letter to Keith Arberman or something like that. I can't hardly see what it says. And each signature is the same, Donald Trump. Stop playing in the American people face, because we're not falling for the banana in the tailpipe. We're not doing it. Us Americans are too smart for that. So let's take a look at this. Donnie and his Goonies are being celebrated amongst the town, y'all. Look. Yeah, they've been celebrated for their dark ways. They are supporting and covering pedos. So now they're being celebrated on the side of a truck, a digital billboard. So it says, raise your hand if you like protecting pedos. That's what it says. Raise your hand if you like protecting pedos. And that is the mega Republicans that are covering for Donald Trump. Donnie, this is not going away. We won't be quiet. No. And MAGA needs to think about what happened today was a distraction. I don't put anything past the MAGA Republican Party nor Donald Trump. No. They will do anything to try to stop us from talking about the Epstein files, even if it is unalivened. Uh-oh, hold on, it's on mute.
I now want to talk about the Epstein files. We've got a discharge petition on the House floor. We urge Republicans to sign it. If we can get a handful of Republicans to sign it, we can get this into a bill and compel it off the House floor to get the Epstein files. And if Republicans don't want to engage in a cover-up of pedophilia and this pedophilia ring, they should go sign this discharge petition. A handful of Republicans is all we need. Democrats are all on board. I now want to talk about the Epstein files. We've got a discharge petition on the House floor. We urge Republicans to sign it. If we can get a handful of Republicans to sign it, we can get this into a bill and compel it off the House floor to get the Epstein files.
Well, we're going to do a moment of prayer for this, not for Charlie. We're going to do a moment of prayer for this, that they get those 2 extra signatures. I think they need, 2 more signatures from a MAGA Republican. Dear Heavenly Father, I come praying to you, Lord. Help those survivors of Jeffrey Epstein. I ask and pray to you, Lord, that the strong, loving, caring Democratic Party do get all the signatures that they need for this bill. In your name I pray, Heavenly Father. Amen. I pray for victims. I pray for the survivors. I cannot worry about a man that had so much hate in his heart. So this is something from Houston Chronicles, and it says, opinion, words have consequences. Trump's self-interest sets us back. When the president minimizes abuse, he signals to victims that their pain doesn't count. And worse, that their abusers may be enabled, and he's helping enable them. He sends survivors back into the shadows, into the very arms of those who harmed them. That is not leadership. That is cowardness. Donald Trump is a coward. He's worried about Charlie, but not about the children that was abused today in Pow Pow. He hasn't said a thing about the children, the 3 children today. You don't even see it on the news. Donald Trump has the news that he's controlling, putting out there what he wants and what narrative that he wants. But he flipped the script and put it on the Dems that that's what they do. Donnie play mind tricks. But I can't be fooled. That's MAGA's job to be fools. So it says this week, Trump suggests domestic violence isn't a crime, calling it a little fight. The president is insulting survivors who sacrifice everything to stand up and speak out. Minimizing violence is to boost your image, isn't leadership. It's cowardice. That's exactly what it is, Donnie. You've been a coward. You dodged the military, saying you got foot spores, boy, when you got the little dingaling. So, we're going to listen to Jasmine Crockett talk about our children, okay?
Of the cherry pick, because you claim that the immigrants are the reason for crime, but you have nothing to say about white supremacists in this country.
White crime today.
I don't remember.
Why don't white
as
crime
we
today?
are headed to yet a record number of school shootings in this country as it relates to children. I don't remember y'all bringing bills in the names of any of these itty bitty children.
Not at all.
In fact, the most recent shooting, as y'all love to send thoughts and prayers, these babies were legitimately praying when they were killed. So I don't remember y'all trying to do gun reform.
Nope, they ain't even mention it. But Charlie gets attention in the MAGA Republican Party
when it came to January 6th and those defendants. Well over 1,000 defendants. And we're talking about they beat up on law enforcement. Now y'all love law enforcement. You love some ICE. Now that ICE is going around thugging everywhere. But nevertheless, I don't remember y'all even having the courage to say, yes, put the damn plaque up. That was signed into law. Y'all won't even do that. So don't tell me that y'all are here being the champions for everybody. You are very selective. So yes, it is a game. Because if I want to do legislation, I don't have to put somebody's name on it to do right. I don't have to put one of the children's names so that I can have real gun reform and save lives. And I will yield. Y'all love to cherry pick because you claim that the immigrants are the reason for crime, but you have nothing to say about white supremacists in this country.
Well. But we saw today is white on white crime. I told you, beautiful Americans, that black and brown people, we don't have to lift a finger. They're going to take each other out because they spent so much time spinning a narrative that black people, all they want to do is take each other out. But what do we see today? The white man unaliving the white man. It has been going on. They just didn't want to publicize it. But because it's a MAGA Republican, they are publicizing it. They didn't care about the children that prayed in church. No. But they care about a racist.
So we were just inside this steakhouse seafood restaurant in Washington, D.C., where Donald Trump, JDVance, Pete Hegseth,
and I love
all of them were eating. They sat down right next to us. And as people were giving them an applause, we were saying, free DC, free Palestine, Trump is the Hitler of our time, saying that we need troops out of everywhere.
This happened yesterday, people.
Pentagon is the Department of War. It's always been the Department of War. They have been terrorizing communities and are set to do it in Puerto Rico and Venezuela, saying that Palestine is for sale. Just this morning, there was an evacuation notice for all of Gaza. We are 2 years into a genocide. So we were in there saying he will absolutely not be able to have dinner in peace.
He looked us right in the eyes and we stood our ground and we continue to be steadfast in our call for the end of the occupation here and in Gaza and globally. We are not afraid of Trump. He is afraid of us.
We hope that he sees our faces in his mind for a long time because
Amen.
He looked us all in the eyes as we were
hit the like button,
we
please.
We will continue to fight for DC. We will continue to fight for Palestine every single day. So we were just inside this steakhouse.
Be steadfast, unmovable, always abiding in the word of the Lord. Those women was doing the Lord's work. Amen. They were doing the work of Jesus Christ.
Bondi is going on Fox and making very clear that Chicago organizing is working.
Hit the like button, please.
Anything we've seen thus far in this administration. Telling Fox that the federal crime crackdown will be taken to a city that wants the federal government there. They are a progressive city and they don't want the president's help. That's damn fucking right. As someone that has been on the ground in Chicago, I want to talk about lessons for other cities in this moment, because I think the common thread running through what grassroots activists are doing, what coalitions of nonprofits and more formal resistance organizations are doing, and what elected officials are doing is proactively saying, fuck off. Said this on here before, but Hands Off Chicago, which is a coalition of various immigrants' rights groups, labor unions, other trusted community groups, had been organizing for so long on this. They had like a text alert system set up already, and they had a rapid response action that they were saying, we are going to have this rapid response action as soon as Donald Trump deploys the National Guard. And then he's will they, won't they, and constantly. And so Hands Off Chicago said, you know what, fuck you. There's ICE all through our city anyway. That's the feds. We're going to have this event anyway, and mobilize thousands and thousands of people on 24 hours of notice. There are also so many community groups that are staging on the ground patrols, really actively alerting people when ICE is in their communities. And to be clear, while the federal government backing down about the National Guard is such a victory, ICE is still in our communities, disappearing our neighbors every single day. If you live in Chicago or anywhere else, you can get involved with rapid response groups that already exist and learn from them, like Pilsen Defense and Access. Chicago journalists have mobilized so unbelievably well. Local news is not pretending to be fake unbiased, acting like people want ICE in our communities, and there's both sidism. They are collecting video, they are coming together as newsrooms, and they are defending their community. Donald Trump is a loser and a bully,
Queen
and the
Victorious
only reason that he has been able to get this far towards authoritarianism is because people are not standing up to him effectively, because law firms are rolling over, educational institutions are rolling over, many Democratic politicians are rolling over. And as a Chicagoan that is one of many, many people working our asses off to stop the National Guard from coming in and to get ICE out, my greatest hope is that if you do not live in the city, that you take the lesson that proactively telling the administration to fuck off works, and that you not only engage in that, but that you hold other people in your community and elected officials to do the same. Because at the end of the day, these people are cowards and they are not ready for proactive resistance. Pam Bondi is going on Fox and making very clear that Chicago...
Oh, Pam Bondi, we can't take you serious. I wouldn't take any woman serious that supports men abusing women and children, not even little boys or men abusing anybody. You are upholding Donald Trump, and you know all the horrible things that Donnie has done to women. You are a woman, Pam Bondi, but we wouldn't know. Oh, were you born male? Were you? Do you carry dingleberries in your pants? In your pantsuit? That's why you always wear a pantsuit? Haven't seen you in a skirt much. So a federal judge has blocked Donald Trump from firing Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook. That's a win for the black woman, all right? So she's still proceeding with suing Donald Trump, as she should. Lisa Cook continue to sue Donald Trump. Okay, Queen? Yeah. Take him down.
It's not going away. Not today, not tomorrow, not next
Hit the like
week,
button, please.
not
Thank
next
you.
year. It's not going away. The documentaries are coming, the books are coming, the long-form journalism are coming, the leakers are coming, and your fifth-rate Pam Bondi, Tulsi Gabbard, oh, Jesus, man. Don't ever get me started. Pete Hess, the Laura Loomer. What a pack of idiots. So Put them all out there. Pardon her. And let's go to town here, people. We got real work to do. As disgusting as this is, it's our duty to see that this fire keeps.
We got to see this through, everybody.
Thank you very much.
We must see it through.
This is not going away.
And that is from
today.
Politicon. Yeah. We got to see this through. We cannot be distracted by the stunts. And they're pulling major stunts. What happened today, I truly believe it was a stunt from the MAGA Republican Party. Because who did it? Another white man. Is it a mentally ill white man that they found and had him to do it? We don't know. It was another stunt from the MAGA Republican Party. We must not get distracted. We must help these survivors as much as we can. Stay focused. Stay focused. So we're going to listen to a little bit of this because, honey, Africa is doing that thing.
Africa just hit a switcheroo on me. Went completely offline from Google Internet and created their own You hear me? Pull the switcheroo.
They got their own internet in Africa
and now have their own internet that the U.S. government does not have access to.
And you cannot spy on them.
Cannot track, but still has access to do all the same things that we have access to do. Google is big, man. U.S. is going crazy. And let's not forget to mention, America is like falling economically.
Yeah, we're falling
Africa
right now.
Has their own dollar now backed by their gold, no longer subscribing to the US dollar. Yeah. It's time. Africa just hit us.
Africa now has their own internet. They're standing up, having a backbone against the colonizers, against the abusers. The abusers is other countries that come and take other continents, I would say. They come and take from them. North America, come and take their minerals, their diamonds, everything. Tanzanite, which they got a lockdown on Tanzanite right now. Very rare stone. We get so much from Africa, but we call them poor. No, America is poor. And what we got in the White House is poor. Even though he may have money, but his soul is poor and going straight to HELL. One moment, please.
Did you notice Trump stealing a gold medal after leaving the awards ceremony? No one realized Infantino's gesture made him a fool. At Chelsea's championship awards ceremony, when Trump was presenting medals to the players, he actually tried to pocket $1 million gold medal for himself. Infantino keenly noticed this and immediately tapped Trump's hand, signaling him to return the medal. Trump could only awkwardly smile and hand it back.
He didn't want to give it to the black person.
Infantino was distracted by the trophy, Trump
he hates black people. Donald Trump hates black people,
causing one player to miss receiving his rightful award, sparking discontent and cold stares from the team. Even more outrageous, when Infantino signaled for Trump to leave, he shamelessly kept celebrating until
he steals the medal and won't leave.
After the ceremony concluded, Melania kept her sunglasses on and refused to engage with Trump throughout, while players deliberately avoided him.
Look at her face. You saw what she did. She hates
No one
this
had
man.
expected that Infantino's single gesture would publicly turn Trump into a global laughingstock. This farce is destined to go down in sports scandal history. Did you notice Trump stealing a gold medal?
We have a man in the Oval Office that's doing everything like the Antichrist. What does Satan do? What does Satan do? Steal, K-I-L-L, and destroy. Satan lies. Steal, K-I-L-L, and destroy. What was Donald Trump doing in this video? He stole a gold medal that belonged to a black man. He hates black people that much, but you're going to steal from a young guy that earned it. You didn't even earn where you are, Donald Trump. Your D-suckers and your lies and cunning ways got you where you are today. You told the American people that the election was rigged in your favor. You told the American people that Elon Musk knows those voter machines better than anyone. That's what you told us, Donnie. You told the American people that out of your mouth, out of your rat teeth mouth, Donnie, that the election was rigged in your favor. One moment, please. Just a moment, beautiful kings and queens. We must not forget how MAGA operates. Think about what happened today. And think about how it has detoured people to talk about that instead of Epstein. See, the MAGA Republican Party, they don't care about anybody. It's about them in that White House and in their cabinet that matters most. If they got to do anything that's desperate, yes, desperate, they will do it. Charlie Kirk could just be what they needed in this moment to distract. But they can't distract my kitty cat. I can't be mine up. I can't. I just can't. They didn't distract my kitty cat. That rat teeth man in the Oval Office, he can't outsmart everybody. He can only outsmart MAGA. Because they've been drinking that red Kool-Aid for quite some time now. Yeah. Just a moment, please. So there's more. Dems strike back with a massive Epstein move. So we're going to take a listen to this, okay?
At the final stroke there's a very gentle going down of the stroke and then a long horizontal stroke, and it's exactly the same formation in this letter of 2000.
I don't get EBT, baby. Sorry. I know your family does.
And if we examine these under a microscope, which I have done.
All right, Democrats just made an intense move to force the release of more Epstein files, more historic documents like the
we're gonna be on Epstein every day. Every day. Have our foot across y'all neck.
Or survivors of the case. Now, the reaction of Republicans has been stunning but expected. They have been running defense for Donald Trump. They have been saying they don't think it's his signature. It's fake news. One MAGA congressman even says he's never even seen it. And when Manu Raju tries to show it to him, he says, I don't want to see it. So these people are like burying their heads in the sand, but quite literally trying to blind themselves by burying their heads in the sand. It's not even a metaphor anymore. These people want to be willfully blind. And as this is happening, Chuck Schumer, who I have many criticisms of, he just filed an amendment to the NDAA that would force the release of the Epstein files. He then made a procedural maneuver on the floor.
Subscribe to Adam Mockler on YouTube.
So at the very least, Republicans have to once again go on record and try to block more documents like that birthday book from coming out that was sent to the Epstein estate, then sent from the Epstein estate, then released by Congress. Now, Republicans are trying to block that because they don't know how to handle the evidence that has already come out. We'll talk about the Democrats' move in just one moment. We'll talk about a handwriting expert who has debunked the Republican lie. Well, let's start with how MAGA Republicans are reacting to this. Remember, none of them know what to say. They just say it's a hoax. One dude says he doesn't even want to see the letter. He's like, please do not show it to me.
The president says he did not sign it, so I take the president at his word.
I trust what the president said.
Well, if y'all believe Caroline Lovett, you need to jump in Donald Trump's casket with her.
I don't. They say it's not. It's been there for 4 years, and now it's just coming out.
So you think really someone might have just forged this somehow?
Yeah, I mean, somehow it's so easy to do. I just don't buy any of it right now.
Have you seen that letter?
I've not, but I would love to see it like matched with his handwriting.
Yeah,
it just seems really wild. Yeah, I don't want to see that.
This dude just said, I don't want to see it. He's willfully burying his head in the sand. And when Burchett says that Biden was sitting on this letter,
they got their head so far up Trump's butt, it's ridiculous.
By the Epstein estate. This was from Jeffrey Epstein's own estate. And Congress was able to release it. No,
Lucas, if you knew your mammy and your daddy, they would stick you back up inside your mammy.
Taylor Greene has been on the side of the survivors. But in this clip, Donald Trump talks about his signature and he denies it. Then I want to play you this signature expert debunking what he says.
It's not my signature, and it's not the way I speak. And anybody that's covered me for a long time, no, that's not my language. It's nonsense. And frankly, you're wasting your time. All you do is
if it wasn't his signature, why did they try to block it from being seen?
This is a
the birthday note.
Success, and we have so many. I don't think any president.
Nobody works so hard to block a birthday note if it's not his signature.
I like how one of Trump's primary arguments at the beginning is that that's not how I speak. He's basically saying I'm too dumb. Like I don't have.
He is dumb. He's just
letter.
A common.
Even though the letter was clearly a script that was either written by him or someone else in a screenwriting format. It wasn't supposed to be Trump's direct words. Either way, the letter came from him. It doesn't matter who's the one that wrote or typed or printed or stamped it all together. This letter came from Donald Trump to Jeffrey Epstein. He's lying, he's obfuscating. And you know, if we want to talk about all the other issues that he claims he's winning on, what is it? The Ukraine war, which is now escalating into World War III as Poland is shooting down drones in their territory. We can talk about Gaza, which is being starved as Netanyahu dog walks Trump over and over and over. We can talk about the alliances we've lost or the domestic implications of cutting Medicaid and Medicare. We could talk about all of these things because Trump just lies. He lies about them. And that's why we shouldn't believe these MAGA congressmen and MAGA congresswomen. The MAGA congresswomen are like, you know, playing defense for him too. And what they're doing is trying to say, just trust the president, trust the president's word. When has that worked at anything else? Donald Trump and Pam Bondi have very intentionally lied throughout this entire thing.
The entire
Why would we
time.
trust them? Signature on Epstein card. Absolutely Trump, according to a handwriting expert. Yeah, no shit, it's going to be Trump. He sent this letter because he was friends with Epstein.
In my professional opinion, the chances of this not being his signature are too minuscule to talk about. The signature that came up last night purported to be Donald Trump. I can absolutely say it is Donald Trump, but it's very much the signature that Donald Trump had in the early 2000s as opposed to his signature now.
Because as I've gotten older, my writing has changed.
I pointed out in videos, when he's become president, or since he's become president, it's become more mechanical and just and easy because he has to sign off on so much stuff. This was a different signature that can be matched. Different signatures
to other signatures.
We can compare it. This was purported to have been written in 2003, I believe, and this is 2000. So it's only 3 years apart. So it's relatively recent. If we look at the final stroke there, there's a very gentle going down of the stroke and then a long horizontal stroke, and it's exactly the same formation in this letter of 2000. We've got the very tall pointed upper zone strokes at the L and the D. And if we examine these under a microscope, which I have done, you would see that they were exactly the same. And the idea that it could be forged would be almost impossible. When I'm analyzing somebody's handwriting, somebody's signature, the whole text, it's how they are at that time. It's, if you like, a snapshot of the personality in time. And we do change over time. Sometimes we change in minuscule ways. Even during the day, we can feel more tired or more upset about something, and I can see minor changes in the handwriting. However, with Donald Trump, there have been huge changes over the last 20 years. And the reason why it's changed now is he has had to become far more aggressive, far more adamant, far more absolutely assertive in every single thing that he says and he does, hence the total angularity of his writing.
It's incredibly interesting to see all the signatures from the early 2000s lined up side by side. I'm no handwriting expert, but you could see at one point, like, yeah, these are the exact same signatures. Of course. This brings me back to Chuck Schumer filing an amendment to the NDAA that would force the release of the Epstein files. He made a procedural maneuver on the floor that would force a Senate vote on the amendment as well, which at the very least gets Republicans on the record saying they don't want any more evidence like this book released. And, you know, this book was honestly a really key piece of evidence. It was known to certain investigators, but just never released to the public. And in this book, you see hundreds of different letters. Not every single letter is inherently incriminating. I'm sure some people just sent him a letter and didn't understand.
No matter what, we all know that is Donnie Boy's signature. Yeah, it's Donald Trump's signature. He's never been a good boy. He's been a bad boy like Diddy for a long time. They are diddlers. Donald Trump was great friends with Diddy. He was great best friends with Epstein. And what do all of those men have in common? Abusing women. E. Jean Carroll will still get her $83 million and something from Donald Trump. He wanted it thrown out because Donnie believes that he can erase all of history. Any wrong he has done, he think he can erase it. Well, you can't, Donnie boy. You slimy, grimy, old, crusty man that has cankles and wears a diaper and poops and pees on himself daily. You can't get rid of history. When you long and gone, Black people will still be here, baby, although you have tried to remove our history. And you have done some. But the mind is powerful because our history is in our mind. There's things y'all don't even know about us that we know about us. You think because you studied us that you know so much, but you don't. Let's see what we have here. What else I have for my people?
Finally happened. There has been a massive security breach at the Social Security Administration involving our most personal data. This was something that was not only predictable, but it was predicted by Democratic lawmakers and also a whistleblower who tried for months to get attention.
A whistleblower inside the Social Security Administration says Doge employees created a copy of the records of more than 300 million Americans and put that data on a vulnerable server. CNN's Matt Egan joins me now with this new reporting. So what more is in this complaint from the whistleblower?
This stunning whistleblower complaint, it's not coming from some low-level employee. It's coming from the chief data officer at the Social Security Administration. He alleges that among the critical data that was stored in this vulnerable cloud server includes people's names, their social security numbers, their dates of birth, their addresses, citizenship status, even their parents' names. All of it stored in this cloud server. Whistleblower here says that the copy of the database apparently lacks any security oversight from the agency or even tracking.
I am showing you guys this because your Social Security holds your entire life. Ever since Donald Trump has entered that White House, he has put the American people at risk. Yeah. MAGA, you are a part of putting us at risk. Y'all voted this monster in, although he said from his mouth that the election was rigged in his favor. And I believe that. And I believe the true winner is VP Kamala Harris. Donald Trump every day is putting the American people at risk. Like today, I truly believe that was a stunt by the MAGA Republicans. White on white crime, that's all I got to say. Yeah. I want to thank each and every last one of y'all for coming to my live. Thank you. I will see you guys tomorrow. I love you and God bless.